Take a timeout.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tommy from Mafia Sports Report, and this is the top 5 reasons you can't blame. In 2022, the Buffalo Bills were favored to win the Super Bowl. However, that did not happen. And these are the top 5 reasons why you can't blame the 2022 Buffalo Bills for not winning the Super Bowl. Starting with number 5.
We've got some breaking news here in CBS Sports HQ where the Browns-Bills game will be going from Orchard Park, New York, to Detroit, Michigan. The Bills announcing due to a public safety concern issue and out of abundance of caution in the light of ongoing weather and that emergency in Western New York, Sunday's game against the Browns will be moved to Ford Field in Detroit. And the last time a snowstorm forced a league to move a game out of Buffalo was in 2014. That year, Bills and Jets played on a Monday night in Detroit. Buffalo won.
The city of good neighbors. Getting a plane. Wow. Let's go. Never seen anything like it.
Go Buffalo.
Woo!
And yes, that was number 5. And due to that snowstorm, the Buffalo Bills had to play 3 games in 12 days. So they played on Sunday in Ford Field in Detroit against the Cleveland Browns. Then that Thursday, Thanksgiving, they played against the Lions in Ford Field. And then the following Thursday, they played the New England Patriots. So 3 games in 12 days, all on the road. Wild stuff for the Buffalo Bills. So that is the number 5 reason why you can't blame the 2022 Buffalo Bills for not winning the Super Bowl. Now, number 4.
Yeah, just it's a weird play on the line dragging, try to make a tackle, and arm just got caught in a weird spot. Hopefully the MRI is positive tomorrow. Sucked not being out there with the team the last couple of drives, but those boys held it down, and it's awesome to get a victory.
What did it feel like when it happened?
It just felt like a pop, really. Like I said, it's we'll see what the MRI says tomorrow. Staying positive about it. I know it's been kind of a frustrating year for me as far as just a couple injuries, a couple setbacks, but I've been through things before. It's not different right now. But like I said, team played well enough to win. Some things we can work on, some things we didn't do so well today that probably we got to work on throughout the week. But like I said, it's good. Anytime you get a victory, it's good.
Jordan, how do you stay, mentally positive when you have been dealing with a bunch of injuries? That's got to be hard.
It is pretty tough. It's frustrating. I got a good team of trainers that I trust to get me right, and like I said, I'm just staying positive. Hopefully, the MRI tomorrow comes back in a positive light.
So Jordan Poyer, roller coaster season, coming in at number 4. So let's start with the very beginning, and that is his contract negotiations, which were pretty much an ongoing thing for the season. That Jordan Poyer wanted to get a deal done, and unfortunately, it never did get done during the season. As we all know right now, it did get done during the offseason after the 2022 season, but it started with the contract. Then in training camp, Jordan Poyer suffered a nasty elbow injury that forced him to miss most of training camp. Then in week 4 versus the Ravens, he had a nice interception versus Lamar, but he crushed his ribs and he got a collapsed lung due to that, um, and was forced to drive week 6 to KC because the doctors would not let him fly. So he had to drive, I think it was like a 14-hour drive to KC to make that game. Then in week 8, he once again suffers another elbow injury. So it was a wild season for Jordan Poyer, a lot of ups and downs. Um, and really he never was fully healthy from the week 1 all the way to the end of the season. He was battling some type of injury, and then of course with the contract talk that didn't help either. So that is the number 4 reason why the Buffalo Bills did not win the Super Bowl in 2022 for the 2022 season. All right, here comes the number 3 reason.
Buffalo Bills and Sabres owner Kim Pegula is currently undergoing medical treatment. The Pegula family released a statement saying she's suffering from unexpected health issues, but didn't go into much further detail. They say she has made great progress over the past few days. The Bills posted a message on social media saying, quote, "All of Bills Mafia is sending our love and prayers to you, Kim."
Good afternoon. We're coming on the air with breaking news out of Buffalo, New York, where at least 7 people have been shot and killed in a mass shooting at a Tops grocery store. Another person is reportedly in critical condition. Here is what else we know as of right now. Police and emergency responders are on the scene. Buffalo PD says the shooter is in custody. New York Governor Kathy Hochul said she is monitoring the situation and is asking people to avoid the area. Early disturbing video from the scene shows what appears to be someone apprehended by police while possible victim lays nearby.
We're just trying to be a part of our community like we are, and when something happens in our community, we want to be able to step up and do our part. And when you affect one of us, you affected all of us, and we're just trying to be a part of bridging the gap with love and unity right now.
So that's number 3, the offseason tragedy in Buffalo. It all started early on with Kim Pegula, who, later on we found out she also had a cardiac arrest and was in critical condition. So it started with that. Then it was the Top supermarket mass shooting, which I won't get into full detail, but you guys understand what happened there. And it was devastating for the city of Buffalo, for, Bills Mafia, just everybody in Buffalo, and the Buffalo Bills, were there to support, the city of Buffalo and the families there. But it was a tough, tough time in Buffalo before the season even got started. There was a lot going on in the city of Buffalo. It all started with Kim Pegula, and then obviously, the tragedy that struck Top supermarket with the mass shooting there. So it was not off to a good start in Buffalo. And that is the number 3 reason why the Buffalo Bills did not win the Super Bowl in 2022 for the 2022 season. All right, number 2.
We begin with new details on Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin. The team say Hamlin is sedated and is in critical condition after he collapsed on the field following a tackle against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bills adding overnight that Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest and his heartbeat was restored on the field. CPR was administered for several minutes before Hamlin was lifted into an ambulance. The sports world shaken.
Number 2 was Damar Hamlin. That was week 17 versus the Bengals. Monday Night Football. Was watching it live, obviously, and that was one of the craziest things I've ever witnessed on, a live football, watching a live football event. And it shook the world. It really did. It shook the sports world. It shook the world in general. And I truly believe the Buffalo Bills did not recover mentally from that incident. They tried. They probably won't admit it that they didn't, overcome that. But, I don't think the players ever did. I think it stuck with them for the rest of the season. And, you know, that was rough. And not only did you, almost, lose a brother in Damar Hamlin, but you also lost, a safety moving forward because he wasn't coming back. Even when we got the great news that Damar Hamlin somehow pulled through, having basically three heart attacks, cardiac arrest. His heart stopped beating three different times. They had to, do CPR on him, and he still survived. And he came out, and luckily, and nothing really wrong with him as far as moving forward. He could, play football again. That's what the doctors say. Will Damar Hamlin come back? That's for him to decide. But that was a big hit for the Buffalo Bills in the 2022 season, and that's why that is the number 2 reason why the Buffalo Bills did not win the Super Bowl in 2022 for the 2022 season. And now the number 1 reason why the 2022 Buffalo Bills did not win the Super Bowl.
Breaking news in the NFL where Micah Hyde's season is officially over. The Bills placing the All-Pro safety on the IR this morning after he suffered a neck injury during last week's win against the Titans. Hyde is expected to make a full recovery for the 2023 season.
Breaking news at CBS Sports HQ in the NFL. Bills linebacker Von Miller is out for the season. Buffalo coach Sean McDermott said Miller underwent surgery to repair an ACL tear on Tuesday, and the Bills placed Miller on IR last week. There was hope that he would be able to return at some point this season, but those hopes were dashed today. Miller was injured in Buffalo's Thanksgiving Day win over the Lions.
Player injuries. Unfortunately, played a huge part in the, why the Buffalo Bills did not win the Super Bowl in 2022. In my opinion, that is the number 1 reason why. It all started in really the off season with in training camp with Jordan Poyer with his elbow injury. Then we move forward to week 1. Gabe Davis, after week 1 in practice, he somehow sprains his ankle, a severe sprain, and he's never the same moving forward. He returns during the season, but Gabe Davis was not the same Gabe Davis that we saw versus the Chiefs. He was not the same Gabe Davis we saw week 1 versus the Rams. Week 2, Micah Hyde suffers a neck injury along with Dane Jackson. Dane Jackson's neck injury looked far worse. However, it turned out Micah Hyde's was actually worse, and he went out for the season. They placed him on IR, and he did not return for the 2022 season. Week 4, Jamison Crowder breaks his ankle versus the Ravens. He was our slot receiver who was supposed to be the answer for Cole Beasley's departure. And we had plans for him. He was actually one of the sneaky signings that the Buffalo Bills had in the 2022 season, the offseason. And unfortunately, we never got to see what Jamison Crowder could have done for the Buffalo Bills in the slot position because he broke his ankle. I believe he was returning a punt. And he or was a kickoff and broke his ankle, and that was it. He was placed on IR and never came back for the season. Also, week 4, Jordan Poyer once again gets hurt, going on an interception on Lamar Jackson in the end zone, pretty much his ribs, and come to find out later he had a collapsed lung due to that. So that's not good. Then you got week 8, Jordan Poyer once again with an elbow injury, a nasty one versus the Green Bay Packers. And, once again, Jordan Poyer with the bad luck, the roller coaster season for him and the injuries. Week 9, Josh Allen versus the Jets. It was an elbow injury. Later discovered it was a UCL sprain, which you guys know that Brock Purdy winded up having surgery, for the UCL. Luckily for Josh Allen, it wasn't a UCL tear. It was more of a UCL sprain, and he needed time off. Though the warrior Josh Allen is, he did not take any time off. He continued to play throughout the whole season, the rest of the season, and had to basically change his mechanics up to be able to throw. And it showed on the football field. Josh Allen was not the same quarterback he was before that injury. And yeah, that just was not good. Then in week 12, Von Miller suffers an ACL injury, ACL tear versus the Lions in Detroit. Not good. In the beginning, Von Miller said he'd be back 2 to 4 weeks. That's what Buffalo was hoping for. When they initially did the scan, it came back just as a sprain. But then later on, it was revealed he had an ACL tear, and they shut him down for the season. He went ahead and had ACL surgery. We're hoping to get Von Miller back to start the 2023 season, though I don't think that's going to happen. More than likely, he will be back week 4 around that time, but we'll see. Every player is different. And that is my top 5 reasons why you can't blame the 2022 Buffalo Bills team for not winning the Super Bowl. Now, this is not an excuse video. This is just a fun video I wanted to put together for you guys. A top 5 reasons why you can't. I'll probably be doing more of these on different subjects. However, there is other reasons that the Buffalo Bills did not win the Super Bowl, but those reasons are to blame. But these are the top 5 reasons why you can't blame the Buffalo Bills 2022 team for not winning the Super Bowl. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching. Appreciate you taking the time to watch. Once again, Bills Mafia, I love you. And go Bills. I am out of here. Peace.